Hello there, welcome to the studios of Conversations here on the network service of the NTA, where we discuss everything under the sun. And usually you see the ladies, talk about most of these issues. But today we have decided not to allow any of them into the studio. Why? Because of the issue we want to look at on the, program today. Of course, last week, or rather the last episode, featured something very interesting. That is what women don't like about men. Of course, a lot was said in that episode, and today we're going to be reacting to some of the issues raised by the ladies and also talk about what men don't like about women. And to do that, we have join us a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Let me allow them to introduce themselves. Let's start with you, Barrister.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Akobondo Ike. I am a lawyer. You're welcome to the program.
Prince Kevin Fineface, security and energy expert and public good advocate.
I'm Ojile Nathaniel. I'm also a lawyer and a public commentator.
Thank you very much. I'm Hamilton Ogbedi. I'm a business person. I manage intellectual properties.
Interesting.
My name is Dr. Ayuba, a comedian and the president of Abuja Body of Comedians.
Interesting. And I'm sure most of us here are married. Some of us are looking for, right? And then some are looking for the second experience.
Second edition. No, retirement by voting.
Okay, gentlemen, of course, we are going to play back some of the things said in the last episode by the ladies in the course of our conversations. But right now, let's take a quick break. And after that, the show proper will start.
Everything. It's just that the absence of understanding has resulted to some disagreements. A woman is oftentimes described as, for me, as the most powerful being on earth. I listened to the women and I some of them were overgeneralizing, and in my head I'm like, she must be so experienced to be overgeneralizing. You know, when you say men, I prefer to say some men or my man or the men I've dated are this kind of thing. But when you say men, my picture high is that this woman must be well experienced. I mean, she probably had tried most of those men. So you don't say that. So I cannot overgeneralize. My experience with a lady should not be used as a basis to classify all the women. That's stereotypical. Rather, what I should say is that some of the experiences I've had in my few years on earth, I've had fantastic women. One thing I wouldn't want to see a woman, do is you hang your catapult everywhere. Yes, we come into the bedroom during the altar play, we altar call, we see even help you to remove the catapult, but don't just keep them hanging everywhere. Don't keep those things that are not too good for the eyes to see. You have your parts exposed everywhere. It's wrong. I look at the earth aspects. Now, I don't like a woman who does not take her hygiene seriously, especially when you know that your man.
Also, sometimes it's part of the, the razzmatazz of dating.
A friend got married to this guy who was a pastor in court, and suddenly they are not doing prayer and fasting every now and then. So I said, look, I'm man enough. Blood flows through my spine. My sponge is stronger than any other thing you can imagine. Long short of it, she came one day, dropped the rings, and left. I never called her back to say why. There was no fight, there was no problem. But I felt that she was overwhelmed with the fact that I was that serious and couldn't believe that it was very possible. Now, why am I bringing this story? The reason I'm bringing this story is sometimes we tend to bother about what people will say, and we get into relationships that are not meant for us. That will not enhance our spiritual well-being, our physical well-being, and all of that. There's actually a man meant for you.
I like to say something. I said to one, ladies who want you to be their all in all, if you ask them, I want you to be my everything, my hero, my this, my that, which is very, very possible because that is our position.
Really?
Yes, we have it. There is where we are supposed to provide and do a whole lot for them. Take care of them like our own child. Now, I said to her, if the hand has, if there's an injury on the hand, it sends a signal to the head. I said the problem you are having in your relationship is because you don't cooperate and you don't communicate. You are supposed to, like he said, you are supposed to be the neck and stop trying to be the head. Communicate with me. Tell me that thing you want and stop assuming. Now, I met a lady that looked at me and said, this one will be player. Don't say that to me. You don't even know me.
Because you're that handsome.
I'm not even sure. Don't say that to me. You don't know me. Now, the problem we have with a lot of ladies, they think they know us. But you cannot really tell what a thing is until you come closer.
You can't judge you.
Ladies think they are very smart. If I give you my money, you call me and you tell me, I'm hungry, you pretend or you start acting up like you're sick or anything. If I give you my money, I'm giving it to you because I want to. It makes me look good, not because you're smart, not because I catch a boo-boo according to them. So I think, ladies, watch it. We are not dumb. We are not stupid.
But let's talk about something here. As men, let's be, truthful to ourselves. Do we prefer women that are really submissive to us, or women who are like? Do we see them to be submissive or or equal partners?
I'm of the opinion that
Yeah.
when a man chooses a lady he wants to marry, the first thing he wants to see that she will complement his purpose.
Yes.
That is why he chose her. There are so many people, but he decided to choose her because she will complement his purpose.
Help meet.
They call her a helpmeet. They didn't call her Oga to him. So when you spoke about the issue of lady playing hard to get and everything, I'm not against them playing hard to get. But the truth is that they should not overdo it for the man to think it's a competition now for him to conquer her. Because once he conquers her, he wants to play his own game. She's now coming out with her real game, and then they are on a parallel line. So what I'm expecting that if a man sees a lady and wants her, some of the things he needs to look out for, will she complement his vision? If she's not going to complement, like I've seen men of God, whereby you are called to be a man of God, and she does not share the same vision with you. The devil will use her as an avenue of getting to you, and everything goes on bad.
Well, where's the devil?
Well, let's assume.
That's the excuse I have problem with.
Okay.
Where's the devil?
Okay. You see, like I keep telling people, in a relationship, avoid certain things that will cause problem. Men are emotionally reserved. They are not quick to open up to tell
Not
you
all
this. Most men are emotionally reserved.
Thank you.
It's not everything that as a man you see, you just talk.
Yes.
You will keep quiet. But women, anything they see, they will talk.
Not all
And
women.
sometimes men
Women
generally find
love-
problem with that.
They love inflammatory comments, inflammatory plays. They love pranks. To them, they will say, if I don't play with him, who am I going to play with?
Not all women. There are some women when you bring the play to will have a problem with. That's what we need to understand ourselves. We're talking about submission, right?
Yes.
She's stubborn or that she's not submissive. It is just her nature. It's unfortunate she got married to the wrong person who believes that being submissive is meaning controlling into whatever it says or accept to do and not achieving our own life's purpose. We need to begin to, that's why I kept going, we need to begin to understand who we truly are. Our biological mixes makes us sometimes to think that we're devils or angels. This guy looks quiet. Doesn't mean that he's quiet like that. We take it for it's just a man that is disposition. But right deep that I listened to him and what he said, he actually spoke so well, intellectual. But if you see him from a distance, you will judge him. This one that I find like this. If they follow women anyhow, that's what they will say. So we need to begin to understand submission is a necessary requirement. As I said, the neck is a woman and the head is a man. So a man who demands for submission has lost the command of his headship.
Sorry, I like to. If it will get to that point where we now need to demand for you to be submissive, it means that you are failing.
That's what I'm saying.
She is failing.
No, once a man
She has been
starts
failing.
once a man starts demanding for submission, he has actually lost his headship.
I
It
don't
is a
think that
natural.
relationship
It's a
should
natural
continue.
phenomenon that comes in. A woman. Let me give you this instance. You walked into, you saw a lady, you approached her. You will do any and everything possible. You will show a kind of kindness. You will act like you're one Mr. Angel from anywhere. Then the moment you get her now, you want to now begin to assert yourself on this same lady. No, it's wrong. No. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you will get the respect that you deserve. You don't boss a woman around and think that makes you superior.
But for some,
It's an ideal situation that you don't boss a woman. But what
You
we're
don't boss a
thinking
woman.
of, she has grown up with a mentality. She has grown up with something. In an ideal situation, you are not supposed to do that to boss her. But the truth is that they take advantage because they see you are in love and they feel they should operate on what they feel in their.
Now that's not submission issue. I understand that point.
So,
That's not submission issue.
You know, the
we
issue
have a
of
lot
the
ladies
submission
that
now.
are not submissive.
When you talk about
A lot of them.
what's submission?
So,
we need to
like-
actually define it. What's submission?
Exactly.
Like-
you know,
like
for some
the-
men, and probably this is driven from
Oga,
an
five
African
face.
culture.
Let
or
me come
tradition.
in. You know, we've been discussing women from what the moderator said. He said, what do men not like about women? Are we talking about women as a gender, or women as people of a certain age, or married women?
Beautiful.
Because when I was
Classification.
talking, when you look at this thing, you are not talking about this class of women that have gathered some experience about life. There are kids, daughters, religious.
They are women.
There is a behavior that cuts
Across.
The essence of discussing this is not necessarily for those
Some
who are
backlash,
on
you
the
know.
other
Yeah.
side of the game, who are in the second half, like some of us who are already moving. We are talking about those growing because that's where we have problem. No, if you want to check kids now, 15, 16, if you see what they do, you'll be wondering, what happened? So that is the... You want to go out, your wife will start quarreling. Look at how dressed you are. When you go out now, they will be looking at you. Instead of being happy.
Inflammatory.
That you're looking
Commenting, commenting, instead of addressing.
But that's some women.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So,
I used to have 6 packs, and I was still wondering.
What happened to you?
I was still wondering that this thing is too flat. Everybody will be looking at you.
you see,
So I started developing 1 pack.
so you see, it's the trend. So let us start seeing it that they should be made to see them as their partners, not as your
Competitor.
competitor. Well, if I go beyond this, we start going back to our culture.
Yeah.
If you uproot a flower, you're supposed to go and plant it somewhere.
And take care of it, not
If you don't go plant it somewhere, if you remove it from where it is, what happens? You start drying up. We have moved out of our cultures. Westernization, we are not there. Our religion, Christianity or Islam, we are not there. We are just. That's why the society is suffering.
Well, I agree with you, you know.
Yes,
Larissa, but-
because this neck head thing you are now discussing, it's given in our culture that everybody knows his
Okay,
position.
gentlemen. I
But
think
now, wait, I'm coming. Now, no, in my culture, men don't enter the kitchen. A woman will say, come and help me cut pepper.
Are you a woman, Rabba?
Come and help me cut onions because that is what the society wants. And if you don't do it, they say, you see,
now
because
they are
somebody might
selling-
have
But
brainwashed her.
again,
culture-
sometimes
selling all
A
of
yes.
goalkeeper cannot go and become a striker. They will come and
Sometimes
score
they do.
goal in your
But
goalpost.
like some will argue that our culture is not static.
Yeah, it
keeps
evolves.
evolving. And then
It evolves.
sometimes, of course, you talk about too much information. Yes, of course, they come in contact with other cultures and see how things can be done better. But we are coming from a different cultural background, whereby even you as a man, if you sometimes decide to help your woman in the kitchen, you're thinking about what other people might say. That,
Your
oh,
friends might walk in and see you.
see you. But is there something wrong with that?
No. But it also depends.
There is
I cook a
everything
lot.
wrong with it.
I cook
Interesting.
a
I
lot.
just told you that a goalkeeper should not go and start
go
being
and
a striker. What are you telling me?
Just
There is
play your
everything
place.
wrong with it because if you don't do it tomorrow, it becomes an issue.
Yes.
Play your wing. The Bible, which what has told you your position? Why are you leaving your position?
From the
Lady has
beginning,
to
from the
open
beginning
the
of
door
creation,
for her. I
if you
said
mention
I
the
cannot,
Bible,
sorry.
That rivalry is what is causing the
no, but
problem.
you see,
Don't come and
from the beginning
demand
of creation, you mentioned the
that I should
Bible,
open the door for
the
you
responsibility
tomorrow.
was given to Adam. And Eve came in as a helpmate,
Yeah.
meaning she was there to complement the responsibilities that had already been given to him, not taking over his responsibility.
She was more like
By
an
natural
administrator.
default, the men are supposed to be doing these things, but the society has evolved, placing men to always be in the field. So the women have to take the responsibility to take care of the home front
As
and
administrators.
ensuring that if the man comes back, he has good food to eat, water to bath, massage is given, and at the end of the day, he has an altar call to relax the brain or recalibrate his mind. Now, if you want to know what altar call means, for those that don't know, better than that. So a man getting to the kitchen to cook. I do a master class called Romance in the Kitchen Master Class. It's basically teaching men to be able to learn how to cook one or two things to spice up the relationship. For crying out loud, what we should be thinking of first is our human nature. You cannot see your wife, went out with you to go to work together, been through all the traffic, drove, came back, and expect that she'll be so strong enough because she's wired to be so, to get in the kitchen, take care of the key stuff, and at the end of the day, prepare food. Then at night, you now come, sneak through the duvet, and touch her slightly, and she push your hand away. So you begin to grumble. The next morning, you are frowning.
Exactly.
No, love starts in the morning, then ends at night. It is a balance that we must create. I will not subscribe to any man who wants to see himself that the kitchen is no go area for him. Learn something.
And
our friends who don't go to the kitchen,
do you know something?
But that must be understanding.
Sometimes men actually complain, or rather we complain that we don't enjoy sex at some point, but because they are tired.
Do you know what this is?
You can't really have the best.
Women are receptors. A man generates close to 300 to 500 million sperm cells. In his scrotum, he has it there. And that is why whenever the urge comes for it, he sometimes loses his. The moment he has an erection, he stops thinking up here. The only thing that works is down there.
I'm beginning to suspect.
We are just talking. What don't you like about
About
women?
men.
I didn't say
Let's not go there
that
now.
They have other good things.
at one point or that you should not
course.
foray into the woman's area. But if you start doing it, what you will see
They
when
will
you
demand
are
for
not
it
ready
later.
for it, it will become a right, kind of. You understand me?
I agree with you.
That
it
is
happened to
the
me.
problem.
No, it happened to me. I
I'm
agree
not
with
saying
you.
no, there are no
Going to
hard
the
and fast
kitchen
rules.
is because I want to spend
A
time
man
with
will
you.
normally feel free with the woman. The
It's
woman
because I
will
want to
hold her
spend
own
time with
against
you.
you.
It is because they
Okay.
lack the understanding.
Exactly.
They begin- see, I said a woman should never domesticate her husband, no matter what comes. If he's broke,
Don't make effort to domesticate your
don't
husband.
domesticate him. If he's doing it on his own volition, applaud him for it.
Good.
But don't domesticate him. Because the moment you domesticate a man, it's like getting a lion
You excite
in
his
the wild.
ego. Excite his ego. And
Okay,
You know,
now,
that's
gentlemen,
the
let's
story, so-
just take one of the clips. This time around, they're actually talking about the toilet, the bedroom, all right? So from the kitchen, we're going to a different territory entirely. But let's just listen to that.
Have you ever wondered why a grown man with a wife and kids will go to the toilet, the lavatory, to ease himself, to do number one, to pee, right? He takes the seat up. He flips out that thing. The moment he starts peeing, he flushes the toilet. Right? The toilet does its own bit. The flushing is done before the pee is done. And so 10 liters of water is wasted. The pee is still there.
Oh, my goodness.
He doesn't put the seat back down. You do not use the air freshener. There's water, sweetie. You do not use the air freshener to dilute the air or to freshen up the air. You do not reflush. You do not use a brush or the soap. You do not wash your hands. You walk away.
The house help will do that. Or the woman will do it.
Wait now. You do it upstairs in your own personal bathroom. You do it downstairs in the guest toilet. Come on.
So, gentlemen, I'm sure you all heard what they say as regards to our behavior when after using the toilet.
I take exception to that generalization about men. In my home, I have an 11-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter who's going to be 13 by December. There's a simple rule of thumb. Leave your toilet better than you met it.
Yeah.
So my boy understands that if he needs to pee and he brings out his penis, it has to be straight into the pot. He also understands that he has to wash his hand. Now, don't just tell them what to do. I have to also show culture. There's a tendency that sometimes you just forget because it has happened. Even just last week, I actually used and I forgot. It was when I was going to remember because of the exigency of the time. Does not mean it's a cultural, defect. But here's the thing: what the women said about men concerning toilet and all of that, I think they are very right and very correct for what they said. But there's a problem. The women have not taken the time to culture these men while they were boys, to know to do the right thing. So you see, the blame still goes back to who? The women. If your husband is having the habit of always peeing on the seats or leaving droplets, you want to find out if he has started showing some major level of enlargement around the prostrates. Because if there is prostate enlargement, it means the P will not be shooting like you used to shoot before.
No actions.
There will be shots. So the woman want to help to find out, take him through the test, or find out maybe where it's coming from. It used to be open defecation. And marrying you was when he started using the right toilets. And he's taking his time because old habit does not die easily. It will take him a longer time for him to change. So it's a gradual, continuous process to educate him. Say, darling, sweetheart, I like the way you pee, but each time you pee on the seat, I come and it also stains me, gives me rashes. It will stick. He will learn. But when you say, you carry your tin anyhow, they do anyhow.
Like you are
every act of authority, there is always a resistance. When the woman shows that she wants to prove to the man, he will do worse things. Likewise, women also. So we need to do that.
I think on this toilet issue that was we just watched, I think it's overgeneralization. I like speaking from a practical angle. I manage property as a lawyer. There's this property I managed somewhere. So there was a period soccer was blocked. We're here the last time we talked about the right and duties of tenants. So I was called in one particular period, as they always have a blockage of this soccer range. And at the end of the day, I told them who was responsible to evacuating it. You'll be surprised. At the chamber, that was where it was blocked. It didn't affect the whole building, in flats. But in one of those chambers, when they came to evacuate it, guess what was there? You see pampers, sanitary pads, and what have you. So, are you saying it was the men that dumped them there? Obviously, no. So it's not just a one-way thing. It doesn't lie just with the men alone. And
upbringing matters.
Upbringing.
Nature and nurture.
Yes, just like Fine Face said, upbringing. The way you approach issues determines in a very large extent how you enjoy your relationship with your spouse in the house. If you are confrontational, I bet you won't get a calm response from your man. So, no, don't be confrontational.
Every human being.
Yeah.
I said earlier that authority is often resisted. If I try to now talk to this guy because I think I'm older than him now, you will see his behavior will change. He will not show me that I call that respect any longer. One thing women need to understand is this: because they are mothers, they should also understand that the man is a king. And in that king, you have that boy. If you learn to feed the boy and respect the king, you will have your way through this. It's like the mumu button. You press it and the man starts doing things unusually. Why would a woman not say her husband brought out his thing and pee anyhow in the public? When you rub off on somebody's ego, there will be a repulsive reaction to that effect. And that is why I don't want us to get into that fight with the women. The women need to understand that for everything the men are doing today, they are to be blamed.
Somebody actually emailed after watching the other episode about the episode on what women don't like about men. He says his name is Bestman. He says
long ago.
And I disagree with that.
No. I just mentioned it, that it's not about those who are on the other side of the game. It is about those who are coming in.
Yes.
You understand? When I was an undergraduate, there's this lady lecturer. Half of the time for the lecture she will be abusing men. Say, I'm talking to you young girls. Don't mind men, oh. They are beasts. I'm just warning you. What do you think she's doing? You can see our discussion very healthy. You watched them. Always as if you have a rival. That is the problem. That is the problem. Men are always ready. In fact, like you said, if a woman wants you to crawl here now, you will.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need to flex muscle about it.
I've always seen the men as the general overseers of the home, and then the women as the administrators of the home.
Resident pastor.
As the administrators of the home. So when the man comes, they call her a helpmeet because they know there are deficiencies in that man. That's why they didn't give him the privilege to give birth to the children. They gave her because by default, she's supposed to be an administrator to keep the home and every other thing. But when she starts talking the way the man is talking, the man now feels she's taking his position. That's when the friction comes in. So if she stays in her own comfort zone and do exactly what her role is, the man will align. You don't come and start saying, why did you do this? Why? You're already eating on his ego. He definitely reacts the way you mentioned. He will definitely react.
I don't know, I'm sure almost everyone seated here must have experienced that, especially if you're married. How do you deal with men, especially married men, who like to prey on other women who are also married? Like, you know I'm married, right? Sometimes you even know my husband, and you're hitting on me. Who does that?
I think some men feel that that's the cleverest way of going about it.
That's a lot.
Okay, gentlemen, you heard what she said.
Yeah.
Married men like hitting on married women. I'm not sure that statement is right.
She's never right. She's talking from experience. She must have been approached by her husband's friends, the neighbors within the environment, and more of this people. Why would a man? I give this so. My wife was pregnant at about 7 months or so. A young man saw her, and the first thing he said, what kind of man will leave a pregnant woman on the street to wait for a transport, you know? And he was ready to take care of her with the pregnancy. Men are conquerors by nature. They're like the lions. When a man tries to eat upon you as a married woman, you want to begin to ask yourself, what is that you're exuding? What are you giving out to the public? How are you presenting yourself? What encouragement are you doing? What impression are you creating? Are you making him to think that you are available? If a man approaches you and your husband is not aware that the man approaches you, the man will come back again the second time. Meaning you are giving encouragement. So when women complain that married men want to sit with them, because see, the truth is that the riskier, the sweeter when it comes to sex. There's that thing that comes that because there's high risk, you know, it's like taking dopamine or cocaine or eat any type of drug. If the woman fails to communicate with her husband about the men who are trying to eat upon her, she automatically has given up room for more conversation to take place. And over time, no matter how tough a woman is, over time she succumbs to that subtle, consistent push from a man who has a purpose to achieve that.
Let me come in. Let's not lose sight of what she's complaining. She said men do that a lot. Let us not look at what the woman did. Married men. Let's not look at what the woman did that triggered the man's hopelessness. The question is, do men do that a lot? No. So a woman. Look, I said it in one forum here. A woman can, yes, misbehave. Is that a license for you to misbehave? No. Please, let's situate it. But the argument that he said men do that a lot. How many? I said he said, because once you say men, it then means it cuts across.
That's a generalization.
And she fails to understand that for every action, like you say, there's a reaction.
Cause and effect.
Because I don't want to talk about women like we say we are mature people. If she's saying that, I can give her statistics
of women that are pushing you.
So when you talking about statistics, so what I am saying is this: any responsible man, whether married or unmarried, I am a moralist. You must respect yourself, even in consensual relations. If somebody says no, leave me alone, leave the person. But for her to be saying married men do that a lot, it cheapens man.
No, I said it was from experience.
Okay, now there's also another aspect of the fact that whatever we see, like easily kind of entice us. talking about women.
Men
It doesn't
aside, women
add
are
the way they-
yes.
Exactly. So let's listen to this. This is coming from Divan, actually. Women making advances on men who don't know how to say no. So let's see that. Let's hear that.
Of women who wangled their way into relationships with men simply by pop up in the man's office. You've already established that the guy is the jittery type. Alaji, it's been a while. That day after you dropped me, you didn't call me again. This man has never laid eyes on you. Instead of him to say, I'm sorry, my sister, who are you?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I can't. It's been a while, because he has been around so much that he doesn't want to hurt your feelings.
Yes.
Or probably somebody he has done something with. So he just flows with these. Hey, yeah, it's true. How is Mama? I hope she's fine. And before you said, last time you said you would find a job for my younger
She'll
sister.
make a good actress, won't she?
I was going to say that. And before you know it, it's true, I forgot. Where was it again? I said I was going to. You said you drop her CV at, yeah. Oh, you are right. Just bring it tomorrow. You just had a full conversation with somebody he's never laid eyes on.
Yes.
Do we get into trouble with women just because we don't know how to, we don't want to hurt the feelings or their feelings?
Yeah. Majority of the times that men have got into trouble, the lecturer in Ibadan, the case in Uganda, is because you don't want all the feelings. In my little encounter with people, to say, but unfortunately, it's not going to be possible. Is it always possible to say no? No. Because while I was in Port Harcourt, I've had similar kind of experience. A lady walked into the office, left, took the number, called me up, and we had a relationship because I couldn't say no. Circumstances, situations will always sometimes make these things happen or not make them happen. What she said about walking to the, she was able to use the outside intonation to describe this, so it gives me a picture of what is it. Every woman is designed to be helped by a man. That's why when you're driving, you see a lady standing on the roadside, you want to pick her, even if you don't have intention to want to do anything with her. But see a young man, even as handsome as this young man is, you will not want to pick him.
Very persuasive.
Again,
Very persuasive.
I watched her. I have a different view. Remember, they were discussing the things women do not like about men.
Yeah.
But was she actually disliking the discussion? Because she said, I'll bring the CV tomorrow. It then means that is an aspect of men that women like. No, but that is the truth. No, the topic is what don't you like about men? And she is now telling us invariably what they like about men. That men are always willing to yield to their antics.
No, she's saying that men are weak.
Yes. So
That's the complaint.
why would
That's
she
the
be
complaint.
complaining about it when the thing has yielded a result? Say, bring the CV tomorrow.
I know.
So what is that?
I want to describe the scenario. Pardon me, barrister. There is a lady in this city that makes too much money out of what they call juju. Or
Did you say
juju? Juju.
Juju,
Yes.
juju.
It's anyhow they call it.
Juju?
Yes, juju. Or too much more. Now, what she does, I don't know if it works, but because these people want to really get to you, women women can be something else. Because they want to get to you. I heard those bracelets or whatever it is, the necklace and all of that, cost 100,000 naira just for one piece. And this lady sells them in thousands. And guess what? Sometimes she runs out of stock and she comes on social media to tell you, people are rushing this thing. Come and get your own. I'm even going to get more.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Those charms are meant to make men to like them more.
They to like them more. To
And who made the charms in the first
whatever
place?
it is they want them to do. Women are desperate.
Who made the charms?
Okay, there's something they call Hajia Sokoto.
Is it not men?
women cannot.
The
do
woman
that.
himself brought from the part of man. That's what I'm saying.
You know,
They will
Men-
go, they will
women
go
cannot
any
say they
lengths to
don't
want to
like
get you
anything
to do
in man
anything they want
because
you to
everything
do.
is derived from man.
there's something.
Introducing
There's something
charms.
women should also know,
And
which
you
is
say
that
you say men are,
There's something which you also know, which is
gullible,
that
easily gullible.
some
Don't do
women
that.
use charms on men. But see, for charms to be effective, when the man begins to see the need to do something, then the charms can work. But if he doesn't see the need to do something, the charms.
From where we were brought up. I happen to come from the north. If I get married to somebody from the east, definitely I have to take time, be patient enough to understand the values that person is coming up with. Maybe she was raised to be bold enough to say this and everything. Then I now want to understand, is it that she's doing it out of disrespect, or that's her nature, or a way of explaining things to me? Everybody has their own style of explaining. Somebody can say, give me water. To you, I could feel it's aggressive.